Espresso, where we taste espresso for you. This up, we got the full espresso analysis of the Blind Tiger, Honduras. We got the Manhattan Coffee Roasters Brazil, Coffee Roasters Brazil.
Yeah.
And then we got the Free Hats, natural from Colombia with an extended fermentation. This is an anaerobic fermentation from the Manhattan.
And then that Blind Tiger's washed.
Washed, yeah.
Yeah.
Rob, let's talk about it. Let's start with this one, man.
Let's start at this was the one that really blew our minds. I mean, I got chills. I got confused.
Yeah.
Because like on the one hand, it really smells and tastes sort of like eel sauce, soy sauce, something in that vein. But I guess like when you that's my initial impression. But then when you take that second and third sip, you sniff it a little harder, you wait for it to cool down. You notice the sweetness, and so then it's like maybe it's a little smoked strawberry. And then I'm reminded of like a Chipotle habanero type sauce. It's like,
something spicy.
Maybe it's something spicy, but it's not spicy. Yeah. The body is like smooth. The acidity is pretty mellow, considering like all these fruity sledge. It's not umami either, right? It's not herbaceous necessarily. What the hell's going on with this?
No. Yeah, I kind of am like, I put celery kind of question mark.
That's possible.
But here's the deal. Like what I wrote down is there's a creamy cherryness that flows through it. It's like cream cherry, like the sweetness that just like blows through the whole thing that makes it very pleasant.
Yeah.
And then it has, almost like, I know JP of one of the founders of La Colombe, he's French, and he's really was always like, there's got to be some bitterness in there. The French love that, having that bitterness in there. There's like almost a bitterness, but it's so light and
it's so
subtle that it just is interesting. It's almost like I don't like bell peppers, just like they annoy me almost every time, but if there's just a subtle touch of bell pepper, it adds an interesting contrast with the other flavors, which is worth it, I think.
Yeah.
And this kind of gives you that, man. It's extended. It's a natural, obviously, so it's going to be it's not quite as clean, but it's pretty clean. And it's a nice coffee. Let's talk about Manhattan, though. This is a Brazil, anaerobically fermented.
It's a very interesting Brazil because normally in Brazil you're going to think nutty, chocolate, pretty basic, pretty standard. Now this is anaerobic fermented, so when you think anaerobic fermented, you're thinking funky, you're thinking wild, fermenty. But this was kind of it was kind of balanced in both being a little nutty, a little chocolate, but also there's that fruit cup, as you said. I got like peanut brittle just on the roof of my mouth, pecan in the nuttiness because it wasn't quite peanut, it wasn't quite almond. Yeah. But then that creamy body and the orange citric acid sort of acidity that I really enjoy.
There's definitely a touch of grapefruit in there too. What I was saying, fruit cup. I don't know if you remember, like as kids, some sort of brand had these like little fruit cups you could put in your lunch bag, and you pull it out. There's usually like a cherry, there's a couple pears, which I hated the pears when I was a kid. There's like some peaches, there's some pineapple. That's kind of generally the melange, but it almost tastes like that's in here. But then they also give it, but it's got a little extra acidic kick, and it's all melted together. But I think you might have. I think I got a little pecan on that last taste. Just a little.
Well, almost as you said pear, I was like, I can kind of see pear again on the mouth, roof of my mouth. There's this sort of dry. So I feel like when we talk about dryness in coffee, sometimes you'll notice it at the end of the sip. Sometimes you notice it in the front. Yeah. Sometimes you move your mouth. It depends. Like if you're tasting espresso, there's all these different zones of your tongue and mouth where you kind of experience different sensations. Yeah. And for me, here is a lot of the roof. The bottom, the whole tongue is nice. It's sweet. Roof of my mouth gets a little bit of dryness. That's pleasant. It's not unpleasant whatsoever.
Yeah, it's just interesting. And you know what? The more I think about it, the more I like fruit cup. It's like, you got the pineapple, you got the pear. The pear gives that little like mouthfeel, I think, more. You got like maybe the cherry that gives it the sweetness as well as the pineapple that gives the sweetness. But also there's peach in there. Just a touch of peach.
Just a touch.
The one thing that's missing, I do think there's a touch of grapefruit, maybe a grapefruit rind or something like that. It just gives that a little bit of like kick. If you were to make this a different way, it would give you a strong kick.
Yeah.
Make these big shots.
I don't know if you can see it in the video here, but it does say it's meant for filtered coffee. So I actually brewed it at home a bunch on AeroPress with paper filter, and it was all right. It wasn't like as sweet, it wasn't as dynamic, and that just might be the result of like I'm a hand grinder and I haven't like fully dialed it in yet. But yeah, both these coffees brewed as filter were nice. They weren't terrible, but brewed as espresso, it's like they're definitely. I mean, this one especially is kind of wild and out there. You may or may not like that, but this Brazil, I think it's way more approachable as long as you're into some acidity hitting the back of your throat.
Which is usually there's not too much acidity in Brazil. I was in Rio, and there's this amazing cafe called Cafe Corto, where it's actually a barista training company, has a small little cafe, and it's pay what you want. They do all their business, like they're open for like 6 hours, but they actually do all their business between like 12:15 and 1:45, like almost like 95% of the business there. Wow. People just come in, they're just pulling shots of espresso, handing them out. But they have like 3 different blends, and I tasted all of their different, or not blends, 3 different like coffees, and they're like, this is our acidic one, and it was just not acidic. This has some surprising acidity to it, some like, which is interesting. It's not overpowering like this could be, but it's there. It's like unusual for Brazil because they're usually so mellow. Let's talk about the Blind Tiger.
Yeah, so Blind Tiger, washed from Honduras, and this was definitely the most approachable. I'd say it's the least acidic out of all of them, if I remember correctly. You know, I was getting like raisin sweetness, medium body, graham cracker, tasting notes from golden berry, peach tart, maple.
I get the maple. I
don't
smell
the
different, but I think they're like I wrote down like grapefruit orange and dark chocolate. There's a dark chocolate that comes through that sort of saves it if you're a medium roast kind of person. But man, this has got those bright flavors that if you are a second wave, first wave kind of like classic espresso or like Italian South Italian, Sicilian Italian espresso, I don't think you're gonna like this. I like it. I think it's great and it's interesting. It's cool. That dark chocolate kind of brings it all through.
But it definitely is light, right?
It's
very
so
light. Almost like when it says maple, I almost think of maple leaves as opposed to maple syrup.
I don't.
Which can be good.
My brain's trying to compute that right now.
It's just something it's very light. You know, if you think I like grade A dark amber maple syrup, which is heavy and deep, and this is not heavy and deep. Right, it's definitely lighter. It's a lighter roast coffee too.
Yeah.
More on the raisin, golden berry side of things.
Definitely some raisin. It's not like blueberry at all. There's no like pretty raspberry.
Yeah.
Maybe a little touches here and there, but not.
This is like the Chardonnay of coffees. Very
really,
light.
No,
white
wine. No.
I know so little about wine.
Yeah.
It's like the light.
I would say absolutely not Chardonnay. There's different types of Chardonnay.
Riesling,
the Rieslings are the sweeter
dry.
ones.
I like dry
Riesling is fine, but even that still has a sense of sweetness. We'll get into the wines later on. Yeah. They do have some very dry Chardonnays. They have some very buttery Chardonnays. It gets kind of complicated. This is a classic third wave coffee.
Yeah.
I think it's one of those ones. It's actually, I would say it's more modern third wave, to be honest, a little bit. It's one of those coffees where, like, if you drink a medium roast, you like playing around with some medium roast. You don't like the dark roast. You don't like the burnt flavors. Which, by the way, a lot of people love that smokiness. And you taste this, but you like the mediums, you're probably going to be like, wow, that's a lot. I don't. You're probably going to stand back from that a little bit. These actually, at least the way this Brazil Natural pulled, I think it's a lot more mellow. This one's kind of more like, it's not messing around. It's going to say, this is a bright coffee. Here you go. You don't like it, sorry. You know?
Right.
This one's got a little more for everyone. But it's funny. What you noticed and what you got out of there, like this, I think you graham cracker, like?
Yeah, definitely. Like for me, it reminded me of cookies.
Yeah, which I can see with the dark chocolate coming through into the sugar, the sweetness brings it through. But there's still that cookies, but there's going to be like some grapefruit cookies, man. There's going to be
It's just very light on the palate. It's not heavier notes.
It's got those.
You know.
It's got that kick. These are great coffees. Oh, by the way, let's just read off the tasting notes. This says maple, golden berry, pear, and tart for the Blind Tiger. For the Manhattan, it's peach, rhubarb, and candy apple. Maybe that candy apple I can see because it's like the sweet apple thing. And when you got
And this one says funky fermented chocolate bonbon straight XO.
What is straight XO?
Who knows? Maybe they mean like tequila.
I mean, this is what country did this?
This is from Colombia.
No, where was it roasted? It was roasted in what country is this company from?
Amsterdam.
Amsterdam. So this is Amsterdam. So perhaps straight XO is a liqueur or something that they tend to drink there.
Yeah, maybe.
Wait, this is the Potosi XO. So
well, that's the farm. So the farm is Potosi.
If anyone knows what XO means on this,
Yeah.
put it in the comments. For the love of God, we'd love to know.
Yeah, if you want to go out and buy this coffee, do it. Try it
It's
out.
good.
Let us know what you think in the comments.
This
Because
is worth it. It's probably expensive, but it's probably
but it's 100% worth it. If you're in Amsterdam, if you work for Fried Hats and you're watching, we know that you are. Please reach out. Let us know what else you got going on, because this is definitely something I want to continue exploring.
And if you're in Philly, we found both of these at Thank You. Cody, thank you. It was amazing.
Yep, thank you.
Points us in
Thank
the right
you.
direction. This is so amazing things. ThankYouTwice.com
Yeah.
and Instagram. Thank you twice, not thank you. But anyway, I think that's about it for these. These were good. This is a good tasting, and I'm surprised our shots came out really nicely. We made a bunch of bad shots with pizza before.
Yes. Experimenting. There's definitely, you can go wrong, and when you go wrong, it's so obvious.
Yeah.
So when you go right, it's very nice. It's fun. We understand that espresso, putting it at home on your machine can be difficult, especially when you're getting coffee from different parts of the world and you have your water. There's going to be variation. I think that's part of the variation we're tasting in terms of tasting notes, despite our differences in palate.
Yeah.
Just the water that we were using. Long Island came out a little bit there. The water that we're using, it's a little different than what they have in Amsterdam or Manhattan. It's what are you gonna know?
What are you gonna do?
What are you gonna know, man?
Anyway,
forgot about it.
So here's what I suggest. If you are new to these more finer, interesting coffees in this world, these can be a bit tricky to pull. So since these are both very expensive, I say get yourself a nice medium light roast, something like a Frogtown from La Colombe, or something that's a little better price for you to burn a few shots and find a good recipe. We pulled these, I think it's a 1 to 5.5. We put 20 grams in, and they came out 54 grams out with a 30-second pause, which are decent. Not everyone can do that, but that 20 grams in and 54 grams out is kind of what opens this up and makes it beautiful and not too much in your face. We were trying it with some shorter shots, I think closer to 1 to 2, and it was just really, really intense.
Really wild. I mean, sometimes that can be good. It's just a matter of the dialing in aspect can definitely be a process that luckily we're well acquainted with.
Yeah.
So,
but if you're moving from your classic espresso recipe to brighter coffee, I wouldn't say start with an expensive one. I would say start with a good one. Get a different recipe for your bright coffees, and then go get these coffees once you've got that pretty well down, and then put these in there.
And if you pick up a coffee, that's amazing. But it's hard to pull a shot. Let us know, and we can help you out.
Please put in the comments. We love to talk about this with people, so we will literally get on the phone with you and talk you through how to make this better.
Or emails or text, however you want to
I
communicate.
will come to your door. Anyway, this is Dave. I'm Dave. This is
Rob.
That's Rob. We're Just Espresso, where we taste espresso for you. Cheers.